welcome to another episode of your Technology Questions Answered. I'm your host, Steve Smith, aka Z-Axis, and yes, you may call me that, and one day I will explain what it means, but not on this channel, and not today. We are June 5th, 2011, and if you've gone to my website lately, you know that I am on episode 36, and you know I'm going to be talking about a small free application available on Linux, Windows, and Macintosh. It's called Docky. For the reasons of continuing from last week's episode, we are going to show you this on Ubuntu 11.04, but it does work on preceding versions, it does work in Macintosh, and it does work on Windows. Now, bearing in mind, it's either XP up or OS X or up. Wait, that doesn't exist yet. By the way, you can go up to 11 Apple, just pushing that out there. And when it comes to using a Linux, well, that's self-updating, so as long as you keep your updates fine, it's going to work. So, why am I going to talk to you about that? Here's an idea. When converting from one operating system to the next, it's often a good idea to emulate what you do when you move from one house or apartment to another. Since we do actually move around with our stuff, I was considering, why just bring your files, folders, movies and music with you when you can bring your navigational scheme with you? This is what Docky is going to do. For all those that use Macs that are converting due to the malware condition of Apple actually neglecting to do their job by using security through obscurity instead of security through logic, by leaving a bunch of you people unable to cope with the current viral market. I'm going to help you stay safer within an environment that is designed to stay safer through the use of security methods. So, let's get on to this way. Within this environment, most of us navigate exactly the same way, from left onto right, with the buttons for the applications and start buttons all being on the left side of the screen. But here's another thing. A lot of the stuff is either at the top or the bottom consistently. Because Macintoshes have consistently maintained the navigational scheme to the top of the screen, it was only natural that they maintain the dock on the bottom. And since Windows consistently maintain a navigation scheme on the bottom of the screen, again, both starting from the left, it is only logical to put the Docky program on the top of the screen. Where am I getting with this? Docky is free, it's cool, it's simple to use, and you can put it anywhere you want on the screen. So, I'm going to show you through a video within a video how to install and activate and even manipulate the program called Docky. And by the way, people out there that are still on OS X, I just want to put something out there to you people. Why would you buy a computer that costs so much with a customer service representatives that can't do anything to help you? Because Apple only recently decided to state that they had malware issues. I can give you only one hint. As today's panic trick, I will explain a little bit of logic. Within your Safari program, you do have an option for downloads that actually tells you load safe programs upon download completion. Disable it! It is the most useless piece of technology ever designed within an operating system's browser. Do not open files upon completion of download. That is the last thing you want to do. So as today's panic trick, turn that off. Most of those virus issues that are happening with Apple right now are occurring because that is on. Also, make sure that you keep your computer up to date. I've seen that Apple's been pushing updates every 24 hours now to continue combating against malware, even though previously they only did it every few months. So, keep it up to date. Make sure that's off and you'll be fine. Now that that panic trick is gone, let's get to the video. So in order to install, you need to go under the Applications menu and load the Ubuntu Software Center. Move your mouse now. click on Get Software and type in the word Docky in the search terms, where you will double click the Docky info and install. You will require your password as usual, which you don't see, of course, and you can even see it in progress, and it's almost finished by the time you click this button. That's how small and free it is. Just close this window, and in order to find it, you need to go into your Applications, Accessories, and then click the name Docky again. Now you see that little orange icon on the bottom? That's the Docky Options menu. Click that. Now you can modify anything you want with this Docky. You can modify the theme, the hiding functions, you can make it fade on hide, you can change the icon size, the zoom size, you can even install things called docklets, which are applications within the dock. You can customize this to your whole content. You can even move this on the top, the bottom, the left, or the right of the screen. As you see, I am adding in docklets to show you what happens when you install more, and as you can see, they show up on the bottom. So let's go and install a few more so that we can actually see what this thing looks like when there's a lot more applications. We're almost finished. The weather, always useful when you don't look outside. Workspace switcher, because it's more than one workspace in Linux. Then just click close. Now you can see it in action. Zip. See? Easy. Ta-da! You've now got a Docky. So once you've completely tweaked out your Docky in a way that you feel comfortable using, what do you do with all this free time you have? Remember when you were in your apartment, you just moved, or in your house, and all your boxes were unpacked and you're just sitting there on the couch with nothing to do? I've got something for you to do now. Head over to my website at www.zedaxis.net. Go to the podcast bookmark and click the listener survey link. Now, why do I want you to do this? Well, folks, you can fill this out anonymously, so if privacy is an issue, it's not an issue here. We don't want to necessarily know every single user. If you want to tell me who you are, that's awesome. But if you want to just tell me what you think of the show, that's even better, because I want to know what you like about the show, what you think of the show, what I need to add or modify in the show. That is far more important than any other information. If you're asking me questions, that's completely awesome that somebody would send me an audio clip or a video clip asking me, how do I do this? That I got no problem with. But the survey, this helps me make the whole show better. So by filling this out, you'll make this show better. Now there are other ways of helping me out. All podcasts, for the most part, are free to download. Even this one. If you're listening to me right now, it's because you looked up something that was free. So, how do we make these shows free? Well, first of all, a lot of us have to get this money from our pockets. Now, we can't always afford everything right now. So, over time, you see shows get better and better. But they get better and better through sponsorships for the most part, even faster. And you too can sponsor the show. So, there are a few ways you can do this. One is actual sponsorship if you are a business, but most of you are private listeners. So you can donate via PayPal, which our address is tqa@zedaxis.net. If you donate via PayPal, and if you want to, I will add your name to our guest producer list. A list that will remain on the front of this podcast for the rest of the time, as long as it doesn't go over one page, please. Thank you. Now, by donating to us, you'll help us pay for the equipment and the gear that we require to make our new studio, which is actually right behind me in the other room, where all I need left, because the other stuff's already there, is another camera and enough money to buy myself another green screen. That way I can make my brand new virtual set. And when you see it, you might actually like it because it will make more sense than what's behind me. Now, let's say you don't necessarily want to donate via PayPal. Well, let's say you are actually proud a listener of my show and you want to wear our podcast icon on a t-shirt. You can. get this. Head over to the same website, www.zedaxis.net. On the bottom, I've got numerous logos, and I will make custom logos for anybody that asks, where you can get yourself mouse pads, t-shirts, shirts, PJs. You get iPhone and iPad cases, even flipped cameras if you want to start your own vlog. All you need to do is head over to our website and click the links at the bottom of that page. And near the bottom of the page is the link to the PayPal donation button, which is also available on our podcast page, accessible through iTunes by just clicking the website address. Now, next week, I will be talking about advanced recovery solutions. And for those of you that are going to ask what that is, well, a lot of us have already gone through the whole thing of having our computer crash on our face. What do? You just install a piece of software, your computer's dead, you can't do anything about it, and you've got a project due tomorrow morning. Well, our advanced recovery solutions will help your Windows session come back to life in mere minutes, in the time that it takes you to make coffee in a pot. So, come back next week on June 12th, 2011, where I'll show you how to recover your computer, in the time faster than it takes you to make the coffee, to sit back down, and get back to work. All you're going to need is a second hard drive. So, until next week, I thank you to listening this week's episode. I invite you to listen to next week's episode, and don't forget to subscribe to our show. Stay safe and online. Have a great weekend. Thank you, and goodbye.